Hey guys, Dreadbane joined by Sapphire. Now this is game 4 between Elwar, the random player who's now got Zerg, the blue Zerg, versus Rake, the orange Protoss. And this is blistering sand, so yeah, Rake's actually got one back on him, so
Yeah,
it's
what up
good to
guys,
see that.
Sapphire here. So, really good play there last game by Rake. So, it's 2-1 in this best of 5 here. So, if Elwar wins, he wins the tournament, but Rake did that really nice Colossus micro in the last game and really played himself back into contention. But I'm sure Elwar's just going to want to try and finish this one as as quickly as possible, just to deal with Rake. So yeah, we're really excited to see what we're gonna be in for here. And you'll be pleased to know that Elwar, being random, didn't spawn as Protoss because, as per the last game, if he spawned as Protoss and we got a mothership on mothership rush, Dreadbane actually promised to do the casting interpretive dance. So you've been saved from that.
It's true, I really do. I do a lot of things to see a mothership rush.
Looks like pretty passive opening here so far from Elwar. Look, he's in 13 drones. Curious as to whether he's going to keep pumping drones. He's gone to 14 and still no spawning pool. So he's going a little bit of a delayed spawning pool here. It's just powering up a bit. Not concerned too much, even though Rake has this early scout in his base. So, and that spawning pool going down now. I think Elwar may have been considering going 15 pool there, or possibly even a 15 hatch aggressive opening, but he's seen that early scout and he's reacted with that spawning pool. So a little bit of a, a bit switch up there, I think, from Elwar, as Rake just sort of wants to monitor this early expansion. Nothing too cheesy or anything from Rake at this moment, just looking like a standard wall in. It's interesting that he's not walling in at his natural, which is just so effective for Protoss, throwing down those two opening gates, and then even if you don't expand, it just closes that rush distance and really puts the pressure on the Zerg player and forces them to go a little bit less macro than they would normally like. But yeah, so far looks pretty standard from both players. That spawning pool coming online, gas relatively close there. He is saving a bit of minerals though, so even though he's going to get his queen online, I imagine that he may be looking to get that fast expansion up. Although Rake's gone for an early cybernetics core, and Elwar's going to see this, so he's either going fast stalkers or even thinking about tech. We did see Rake do this last game. He's throwing up that second assimilator. It just gives him so many more tech options. So we may see another tech build, which is a bit surprising on Blistering Sands, especially considering he knows that Elwar is one basing here as he desperately tries to get his probe out. So I'm not quite sure what Rake's going to open with here.
Well, he is still going with this versus Elot. He's chrono boosting it out while he's chrono boosting the warp gate research. So no early stalker to deny this overlord now making its way on top of this nexus. Meanwhile, Rake's actually got his little probe hanging out in the natural of Elwar, so no expansions going there just yet. Two Zerglings about to ruin this little probe's day, who's doing a little breakdance, getting smashed by those Zerglings, so no more dancing there while this drone is about to make this expansion.
Yeah, I haven't quite seen that little trick there that Rake was doing. His probe was half submerged in the sand and kind of doing some face surfing along the ground there. So interesting little trick there by Rake. Either that or it was a graphics bug. But Rake is looking to get that fast warp gate research online while he throws down his second gate. So even though he's not doing a 2-gate opening and he's getting that relatively fast second gas online. And then just talking about it here, maybe they can hear us after all. But no, the good thing I like about this and the third gateway going down now is that you can transition into a ground-based build, and scouting it, your opponent is going to think you're going to tech, even though he is going for a gateway-based build. And Elwar's good choice here, realizing this Overlord's going to bite the dust and trying to pick up that scouting information, which he is doing. So he is seeing that transition into more gateways as opposed to what looked like a heavy tech opening. So at this point, I do think that Elwar's made a really good choice in making that Overlord to scout a little bit more before he bit the dust.
Rake does have an actual proxy pylon, so Rake holding up his bargain with this crazy business going on by the Zelnaga Tower, so we should be seeing some early pressure with these 3 gateways online now warping in, so there is going to be a party in this natural of Elwar in only a matter of seconds if Rake has anything to do with it, so we'll have to see how much damage he can pull off so early.
Yeah, those warp gates are online now. There are a bunch of Zerglings hanging out for Elwar, but he's gone heavy drones, and Now throwing down a spine crawler, which I don't think it's going to be in time. This is a pretty good timing attack here from Rake. And because he got that gas online, he's able to get those early sentries, and he has so much gas saved, so he's going to just be able to pump sentries from those warp gates. It's a bad situation for Elwar, and it's going to come down to Micro and whether this spine crawler can come online. This is going to be so much early pressure, you really need to think about pulling a queen off. These zealots are going to get surrounded, but so many shots from the stalkers and sentries here. This is terrible for Elwar. Roach is finally starting to come online, but that's going to be too little too late. His defense is going down and he's fleeing, but no. Oh, a little bit of misplacement there by the force field, but the Roach somehow squeezes through there. He's a little bit of a fatty, he can't quite get through, but now he is out. Bunch of drones going down, and this hatchery is going to bite the dust. This is a terrible situation for Elwar. Not sure what he's going to be able to do to come back into this game.
Those sentries doing their job with that force field, not quite getting it completely, but stopping any reinforcements for that expansion. So now Elwar will have to retry that again, maybe with a bit more defense. He does have a couple spine crawlers being made now, 3 ready to roll out when he does plan to move, so we'll have to see his response to this. Meanwhile, Rake's actually taking down the rocks at the back of the base, so good to see Rake taking it to Elwar, not letting off since he did get that expansion. I'm curious if Elwar actually has any idea this is happening right now. He does, because of course that Overlord is on top, so he should be okay to defend this, but there's just a lot of units there for Rake, so this could be really, really bad.
Yeah, more sentries warping in, which is that gas advantage. And Rake has just got so many units on the map, and there is these spine crawlers and a bunch of roaches, but I'm not quite sure if that unit composition is going to be all that great, because stalkers would basically rip through them. The roaches will do well against the zealots, but he's not really using many zealots. He has favoured this gas-heavy build, and it's just really paid dividends with him with 4 sentries and a bunch of stalkers. So Rake's in pretty good shape here. I'm not quite sure what Elwar's response is going to be, although Rake is just ignoring the ramp that he just took and choosing to go in. Force field's going off, but there's so many units. These spine crawlers desperately trying to get some damage in. Takes one of the stalkers out, and Rake wisely moves to the left, so he's out of this spine crawler's range. Roach is desperately trying to pull something off, but Rake's lost almost no units in this attack. He's really microed well, and this queen coming in for the desperate defense. He'd probably think about bringing his drones in on it, but this queen's going to go down. I think Elwar's toast here, and he calls GG. Really aggressive play, really expected this game to go a lot longer than that. So it looks like Rake has just been completely aggressive and really taken the game to Elwar, and he just played very, very nicely there.
Yeah, great timing push there with the proxy. Fantastic to see Rake making great use of that. And yeah, he pulled it off. So this is going to another game.
Yeah, ace match time. It's 2 apiece in this best of 5, so it's for all the marbles next game. And I'm hoping it's Mothership on Mothership Rush.